Hello everyone! This is Post Official Workshop. I remind you that we post new videos every day. Today we continue working with the sweatshirt. The pattern for it is ready. These are the sleeve details. They were pinned on the fold. I remind you that the front and the back sleeve details will be even. In order to be able to pin the both details at the same time, I copied the pattern. I'm going to cut the sleeves first. When it's done, I'll cut the other details. Have a look at this sketch once again. The front and the back sleeve details should both be one piece. They will be absolutely even. Do not forget about 1 cm wide seam extension. Don't worry, I'm going to show you the technique for taking the blend wool. I'm cutting the two details which are absolutely even. I'll make a tiny notch here in order to mark the neckline, and I also make a notch in the center front here. The second detail should be absolutely the same. I need to make a notch here as well. I remind you that there are folds both in the center front and the center back. The two details are absolutely even. These are the upper details of the front and the back, the bodice which turns into the sleeves. Next, I want to fold this piece of fabric in half again and try cutting all 4 layers of fabric at the same time. This is both the center front and the center back. There should be folds in the both details. They're even. This is why I am going to cut the 4 layers of fabric together. The piece of fabric was folded in half twice. I'm going to cut the 2 center details and the 4 side details. I want to make tiny notches here in order to mark the center front and the center back. Do not forget to make the notches here in order to mark the position of the pockets. I remind you that there will be the additional details stitched to the bottom. I can cut these pieces of the pattern. I need to stick them together. This is the pattern for the details I'm going to cut. They will be stitched to the bottom. They should be pinned for cutting. I need to add the seam extension to one of the sides. Next, I need to cut the pockets. The pockets, the center front, the center back, the side details, the additional details for the bottom. The sleeves are also cut. I also need to make the notches to mark the position of the pockets. The notches should be tiny. Very nice. I can start taking now. I'm going to tack the front first. When it's done, I'll move on to tacking the back. These are the front details, the center and the side ones. I've already tacked the pockets. It wasn't hard to do it, because I had made the notches for tacking. Next, I need to measure and mark 2 cm wide extensions in the side details. Pin the center detail right to the line. Very nice. This is how the seams are going to be tacked and stitched. Do not tack the details right in the very edges. The width of the seams should be 1 centimeter. This is how the seams are going to look like. I'm taking the center front detail to the side ones. The details should be tacked on top of each other. Next, I need to tack the second seam absolutely the same way. I remind you that the seam shouldn't be tacked in the very edge. The seam should be 1 centimeter wide. If you tack the seams this way, you'll be able to cut the extra pieces after taking and make the seams as wide as you want. We've already showed you how to work with the blend wool. When these seams are ready, I'll start taking the additional details to the bottom. I'm taking the sweatshirt for a fitting. You should be more accurate when taking it for stitching. I can start taking the bottom details now. I'll show you how to do it. This is how the front looks like now. Notice that the pockets are kinda hidden under this detail. I think that we're going to stitch this seam with the cover stitch machine. I've almost finished taking the front. Which details does the front consist of? The center, the side details, the pockets, and the additional bottom detail. The more details there are in a garment, the stronger it is. The sweatshirt is going to be soft, warm, and comfy. The technique for making it is also pretty simple. There is no need to insert the sleeves, to make the sweatshirt close-fitting, to make complicated pockets. Let's have a look at the cut sleeve details. I'm going to tack this seam next. From this point to this one. Here they are in the sketch. In order to do that, I need to measure and mark 2 centimeters here as well. I remind you that the details should be tacked one on top of the other. Be very attentive when taking the angles. They should be tacked accurately. I hope that everything is clear so far. It's very important to work accurately. If you are not accurate enough when making a pattern, the details won't match and the garment won't fit you. Natalie might decide to make the neckline deeper. Now you know how the sleeves are going to look like. I remind you that these are the one-piece details. This is the first sleeve, and this is the second one. They look exactly like in the sketch. I am going to tack the shoulders next. I'll tack them just for the fitting. When the sweatshirt is ready, we'll give you its review. The back will be absolutely the same. The only thing which is different is the lack of the pockets. The front is ready. I've tacked the back off the camera. I'm going to tack the details together next. Let's have a look at the front once again. This is the back. Pin the details face to face and tack them. The sweatshirt is going to be pretty wide. Natalie can make it tighter if she wants. I really wanted to make it wide. I wanted it to be stylish. It won't be hard for Natalie to make it tighter if she wants to. She'll just make this part tighter. I need to match the notches for taking. I hope that everything is clear so far. You can make this slit of any shape you want. Wider, tighter, deeper. You can make the front neckline deeper than the back one. I'm not going to change it now. The shoulders are going to be stitched just like all the other details. I've decided to take them, like the regular seams for the fitting, in order not to waste time. The purpose of the first fitting is for us to make sure that the garments are perfect. I'm tired of telling you the rules for taking. Do not ever tack the details on your knees. They should be tacked only on the table. I'm sure that those of you who watch most of my videos already know how to do it. Do you remember how this point was found? I've divided the length of the back in half, drew a horizontal line through this point, and moved it 4 centimeters lower. I'm taking the side seams. Make sure that the jack points match. This is very important. We all do love perfect fitting garments with the tucks and darts. Anyway, such loose, simple clothes can also be very useful. I remind you that I'm taking the side seam. I'm going to tack the second one off the camera. I really hope that everything is clear so far. I want you to understand that you can make a lot of different garments on the basis of this pattern. That's it. I'm going to tack the second side off the camera. The sweatshirt is tacked. Natalie is going to try it on next. Natalie is wearing the tacked sweatshirt. Have a look at her. I remind you that the front and the back sleeve details were one piece. This is how they look like now. Put your hands in the pockets, please. Very comfy. The back is absolutely the same as the front. It's just that there are no pockets in it. We're not going to change the neckline. It's perfect the way it is now. As I've already said, we're going to make a detachable collar for the sweatshirt. We'll show you how to do it. Turn around, please. The sweatshirt is very comfy. It will be very convenient for Natalie to wear it to work or when driving the car. I'm so happy that we had a chance to show you this sweatshirt. It's very important for you to learn how to make such base pattern. You can draw any lines and details you like. Change the design however you want. I'm also happy that we had a chance to show you this sweatshirt with the blend wool. The techniques which we showed you in these videos are very useful. That's all for today. Be different and beautiful. We're Paukšte Irina and Natalie. Subscribe to my channel, write comments, share the videos, press a like and the bell buttons. I would really appreciate your support. Thank you. Goodbye.